lawmakers are continuing their efforts to reimagine policing in the
for reimagining policing.
But also just how badly we need to reimagine policing.
Reimagining what public safety can look like.
Let's reimagine public safety.
It's about reimagining how we do public safety in America.
Thanks, Jason. Denver police are looking to reimagine the department.
Opportunity to reimagine what public safety looks like in Nashville.
And prediction engines and 5G infrastructure. Reimagine your connectivity.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Reimagine.
Reimagining everything we do about our infrastructure for AI. We're creating data centers that are specific for AI.
Reimagine. The prefix re at the beginning of this word has the meaning of back or again. So if you are to imagine something again, then who or what imagined it in the first place? If a thought came to your mind, could you discern if it were of your own or from another? If a higher intelligence had breached your thoughts, would you even know it? They say the easiest way to get someone to do what you want is to make it their idea. This statement is somewhat ironic for the things to come. This plan has been spelled out to us in many, many ways. And to understand it, let's start at the beginning. Genesis, Bereshith, chapter 6, verse 5. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. The word for intent in this passage is Hebrew Strong's 3336, Yetzer. This word has the meaning of form, framing, or purpose. It also has the meaning of imagination. The word for of the thoughts is makatsobat. The word bat is shown actually in this word. Strong's 4284 means a thought or device. It's used as design or design work or inventive work. It also can reference a machine. The word in this passage for only altogether here is Strong's 7535 rock. This word is made up of two letters, resh, kaf. Resh is a picture of a man's head. It means man, beginning, top, rule, inheritance, possession, headship, first, authority, thoughts, and wicked. Resh is the 20th Hebrew letter. Kaf is a picture of the sun on the horizon. It means divide, behind, gather, condense, eye of the needle, go behind, circle, time, monkey, enduring, Kodesh. This is the 19th letter. Therefore, rock by the odiote has the meaning of 2019. It means man's wickedness at this time divided by the eye of a needle. The word used in this passage for evil is ra and is spelled resh ayin. It has the odiote meaning of the evil eye. Our Savior referenced the evil eye in Matthew 6:23. But if your eye is evil, all your body shall be darkened. If then the light that is within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? Remember the number 23 from this passage, for we will cover that in this video later and show how all of this ties together. What he is referring to in this passage is the mind's eye. Just as in Genesis 6:5, the thoughts of man, if they're continually evil, then they will be darkened. This darkness in man's mind's eye is an ancient plan that has been in the works for thousands of years and has been prophesied all throughout Scripture. In this video, we will not only expose this plan in full detail and show beyond a shadow of a doubt about what is happening right now in real time. First, let's look at the word for evil, which is Ra, made up of the letters Resh, which is the 20th letter, and Ayin, which is the 16th letter. 2016. So what happened in the year 2016? 2016 was the year that AI came to age. Now what does AI have to do with the word Ra, which means evil eye? Well, here is how AI is pronounced in Hebrew. AI is Hebrew Strong's 5857.
Strong's H 5857. I.
The plan to take over the mind's eye of man is ancient. From the false deity Thoth here holding the wedget eye, which is part of the brain that involves the visual cortex and controls man's reality. And even the name of the false deity Baal, whose name by the Odio means inside of man, the eye of authority. But if your eye is evil, all your body shall be darkened. If then the light that is within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? In Joshua, Yahusha chapter 7, they went up against the city of Ai and failed to conquer it, for Yahweh was not with them. And they returned to Yahusha and said to him, let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and strike Ai. Do not make all the people toil up there, for the people of Ai are few. And about 3,000 men went up from there, from the people, but they fled before the men of Ai. Notice first it says 2,000 or 3,000. This is the number 23, but we will come back to that shortly. Notice that they were unable to defeat Ai, and I believe this to be allegorical for what is coming. Man will try to defeat Ai, but will be unable to without the help of Yahweh being with them. But how does AI enter into the minds of man? For that, let's return to this evil monkey right here that is holding the mind's eye. The letter Kaf in Hebrew represents both the monkey and the eye of the needle. And as we've seen in a previous video, Kov is short for covenant. We also all know what ID means. ID means identification, but it also means, and I quote, the part of the mind in which innate instinctive impulses and primary processes are manifest. And 19 represents the eye of the needle and the monkey. And a monkey is the beast, therefore covenant identification of the beast. But now let's look at the word SARS. Quote, Serapis or Sarapis is a Greco-Egyptian god, a syncretid deity derived from the worship of the Egyptian Osiris and Apis. The earliest mention of Sarapis occurs in the disputed death scene of Alexander in 323 BCE. End quote. And there again is the number 23. So SARS has the meaning of belonging to Osiris, which is a false sun deity. Quote, Nimrod, known in Egypt as Osiris, was the founder of the first world empire at Babel, later known as Babylon. Quote, Osiris was the judge and lord of the dead and the underworld, the lord of silence, and Kinthi Amentheu, meaning foremost of the Westerners in the Old Kingdom. The Pharaoh was considered a son of the sun god Ra. This is the word for evil in Hebrew. Notice it says that he was a sun god, and the word corona has to do with the outermost part of the sun's atmosphere. Quote, corona, the outermost region of the sun's atmosphere. The word co is a prefix that means with, together, joint, or jointly. If you look up V2 in medical terms, it also has the meaning of a secondary visual cortex. So this word right here has the meaning of Osiris joined to the secondary visual cortex. This is the visual cortex. This is the sigil of Satan. So what is a sigil? A sigil refers to a symbolic representation of the practitioner's desired outcome. This is the visual cortex, and this is his desired outcome. To completely control not only what you see, but also to see what you see.
You know, a second product is called Blind Sight, which is to enable people who are completely blind, lost both eyes, or optic nerve, or just can't see at all, to be able to see by directly triggering the neurons in the visual cortex.
The thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital, and if this was the moment when everything became monitored, that we agreed to be surveyed all the time, not just in authoritarian regimes, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin.
With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know.
And I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads names of blasphemy. And the beast I saw was like a leopard, and his feet like the feet of a bear, and his mouth was like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his throne and great authority. We know that this beast that comes out of the sea represents a man, because in Revelation 17:15 it says this, and he said to me, the waters which you saw, where the whore sits, are peoples, crowds, nations, and tongues. But the second beast is not a man, for he comes up out of the earth, therefore he is made from the materials on the earth. Revelation 13:11, and I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and spoke like a dragon. And he exercises all of the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those to dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he does great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth before men. And he leads astray those dwelling on the earth because of those signs which he was given to do before the beast, saying to those dwelling on the earth to make an image of the beast, who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. And there was given to him a great spirit, and there was given to him to give spirit to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause to be killed as many as would not worship the image of the beast. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, and free and slave, to be given a mark upon their right hand or upon their foreheads, and that no one should be able to buy or sell except he that has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is the wisdom. He who has understanding, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. We have shown in earlier videos that the mark of the beast, or 666, is chi, xi, stigma in Greek, and if calculated using Euler's principle, it equals Rx, the symbol of pharmacy, or pharmakeia, and that if you stack the symbols on top of each other, they show the modern symbol of pharmacy, which is the snake around a pole. But here is further proof of this and how it all ties to AI and the number 23. Now in Revelation, the word for a mark is charigma, Greek Strong's 5480. This is from the same as this word here, 5482. If you calculate 5 plus 4 plus 8 plus 2, you have 19. Where have we heard that number before? Now, if you take this word, a pale, a stake, or a palisade, and you use the LXX to see where this word was actually used in the Greek, you will find it's used in Isaiah 31:9. The word is used as a sign of the end sign 5251. Now, this word nes was used in Numbers 21:8. And Yahweh said to Moshe, make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looks upon it, shall live. This is the serpent of bronze put up on a pole, the symbol of pharmakeia. It is also plainly told to us that by pharmakeia the nations were deceived in Kasson Revelation 18:23. And the light of a lamp shall not shine in you any more at all, and the voice of a bridegroom and bride shall not be heard in you any more at all. For your merchants were the great ones of the earth, for by your drug sorcery all the nations were led astray. 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. And the number 23 can be expressed as 2/3, which is 66.6%. But let's look at how much more this number appears. In Hebrew, the 23rd letter that has fallen off of the Aleph Bet is represented by the letter Gayin, which means twisted, wicked, evil, afflict. This is the left eye to the letter Ayin. In Egypt, this would be called the Ayin Ra, the same word we discussed earlier as the evil eye. Daniel 11:38. But in his place he shall give esteem to a mighty one of strongholds, and to a mighty one which his fathers did not know he shall give esteem with gold, silver, and with precious stones and costly gifts. In Daniel 11, the word for God of forces is Ma'azim, Strong's 4581 Ma'az, which comes from the word Azaz. Azaz is 5810. 10 plus 8 plus 5 equals 23. The Hebrew word Azazel, 5799, We know this as the scapegoat, but this is also the name for the fallen angel. This word comes from the Hebrew word ez and azel. The word ez is 5795, a female goat. It's spelled Ayin Zayin. This is the same as the word for strong, mighty, and fierce. They come from the word azaz, the same word used in Daniel 11:38. Now in Revelation 13 verse 2 it says that the first beast was given power by the dragon. This power that he was given to him is the Greek Strong's 1411. Dynamis. Now, dynamis means strength, power, and might. As you notice down here, in the Septuagint, it is used as the Hebrew word as. Same word, ayin, zayin. By the Odiot, ayin, zayin has the meaning of a vision sword. And since 16 plus 7 equals 23, it has the value of 23. Now look again at the sigil of Satan. Is this not a vision sword that enters into the mind and not only sees what you see, surveillance under the skin, but in turn can control what you see? I used to think that the V represented Vesper, but I now believe this represents Vulcan. But then again, they are both one and the same, since Vulcan was married to Venus. Here is why I believe Vulcan represents V in this case. Vulcan is the Roman version of the Greek god Hephaestus. Quote, through his identification with Hephaestus of Greek mythology, Vulcan came to be considered as the manufacturer of art, arms, iron, jewelry, and armor for various gods and heroes, including the lightning bolts of Jupiter. He was the son of Jupiter and Juno and the husband of Maya and Aphrodite, Venus. Quote, the origin of the name is unclear. Roman tradition maintained that it was related to Latin words connected to lightning, fulgur, fulguri, and fulmen, which in turn was thought of as related to flames. This interpretation is supported by Walter William Keat in his Etymology dictionary as meaning luster. Luke 10:18. And he said to them, I saw Satan falling out of the heaven as lightning. Quote, thousands of years before machine learning and self-driving cars became reality, the tales of a giant bronze robot, Talos, artificial women, Pandora, and their creator god, Hephaestus, filled the imaginations of people in ancient Greece. End quote. Quote, the first robot to walk the earth was a bronze giant called Talos. This wondrous machine was created not by MIT Robotics Lab, but by Hephaestus, the Greek god of invention, more than 2,500 years ago, long before medieval automata, and centuries before technology made self-moving devices possible. Greek mythology was exploring ideas about creating artificial life. Quote, these epics are the oldest surviving works of Greek literature. They were composed in the 8th century BC, 750 BC for the Iliad, and 720 BC for the Odyssey. In the following excerpt from the Iliad, Hephaestus is working at his forge. When he steps away from his forge, his robot servants attend to him. These robots are made of gold and resemble women. Hephaestus left his forge and hobbled on. Handmaids ran to attend their master, all cast in gold, but a match for living, breathing girls. Intelligence fills their hearts, voice and strength their frames. From the deathless gods they've learned their works of hand. They rushed to support their lord as he went bustling on. end quote. The power that was given to the beast was the Hebrew word Oz, that has the numeric value of 23, and the sigil of Satan has a V in it that represents the false god Vulcan or Vesper. Vulcan was celebrated during a festival. Quote, his chief festival, the Vulcanelia, was held on August 23rd and was marked by a rite of unknown significance. The heads of Roman families threw small fish into the fire, end quote. There is the number 23 again, and the same value as the word Oz, and they threw fish in the fire. Fish was the early symbol of the followers of the way. Also, V is the atomic letter for vanadium, which has the atomic number of 23. So what does vanadium have to do with AI? Well, quote, a rare form of vanadium oxide could be the basis for a new generation of computers that mimic the human brain. Researchers from the Electronic Materials Engineering Department have found that trivanadium pentoxide has properties suited to making devices for neuromorphic computing, which is based on a network of artificial neurons and synapses. Quote, scientists in Switzerland made the chance discovery, finding that vanadium dioxide behaves in a similar way to neurons in the human brain. Scientists in Switzerland had discovered that a compound used in electronics is capable of remembering previous external stimuli in a similar way to neurons in the human brain. Physics.org shared this article in October 12, 2023, Elevating Neuromorphic Computing Using Laser-Controlled Filaments in Vanadium Dioxide. ChatGPT-4 was released in March 14 in 2023. Notice that it is called a transformer. If you Google the word chat in Hebrew, you will find this Strong's right here. Strong's 2844 chat has the meaning of terror or fear. If you Google the word for sin in Hebrew Strong's, you will come up with this word right here. Notice how it has the number 23 in it. If you go to the very next Strong's 2399 chat, which means sin also, you will see in the bottom, chat AI. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no one deceive you in any way, because the falling away is to come first, and the man of lawlessness is to be revealed, the son of destruction. The word for falling away in this passage is Greek Strong's 646, apostasia. This word has the meaning also of divorce or writing of a divorcement. This word apostasia has the meaning of forsake or falling away. In the LXX, you'll see it used in Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 19 as the word azab. Azab has the meaning of falling away, to forsake, destitute. Ayin Zayin Bet. They want to put this technology in you. Ayin Zayin Bet by the Odio means the vision sword in man's tent. And Ashur shall fall by the sword not of man, and a sword not of mankind shall devour him. But he shall flee from the sword, and his young men shall become slave labor, and his strength pass away because of fear, and his commanders shall be afraid of the banner, declares Yahweh, whose light is in Zion, and whose furnace is in Jerusalem. The second beast, who is made of the materials of the earth, is unlike the first beast which comes out of the water, that represents nations. After chapter 13, the second beast is no longer called the beast, but the false prophet. Chasson, Revelation 16:13. And I saw coming out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, 3 unclean spirits as frogs. For they are spirits of demons doing signs, which go out to the sovereigns of the entire world, to gather them to battle of that great day of Yahweh, the Almighty. In chapter 19, he is identified as the second beast because it was the second beast that does the signs before men. Chasson, Revelation 19:20. And the beast was seized, and with him the false prophet, who worked signs in his presence, by which he led astray those who received the mark of the beast and those who worship his image. The 2 were thrown alive into the lake of fire burning with sulfur. Notice it says he worked signs just as in chapter 13 when he was introduced as the second beast. And he does great signs so that he even makes fire come down from the heaven on the earth before men. And he leads astray those dwelling on the earth because of those signs which he was given to do before the beast, saying to those dwelling on the earth to make an image of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. So as you can see, the second beast is the false prophet. In chapter 19, verse 20, the word false prophet is pseudo-prophetess in Greek. It is Greek Strong's 5578, which means a false prophet. It comes from 2 words, pseudo, or pseudis, which means lying or deceitful or false, and the word prophetess. Now the word prophetess can mean an interpreter of oracles or hidden things. It also has the meaning of an inspired speaker, an interpreter, or a foreteller, someone who foretells the future, right? These false predictions are exactly what AI is doing right now. Notice the articles. Artificial intelligence can predict events in people's lives, researchers show. This AI trained on life events of every person in Denmark can now predict their future. They are using AI as a false prophet as we speak. In Revelation chapter 13 verse 11, it says that the false prophet or second beast spoke as a dragon. The Greek word drakon, which is Strong's G1404. This word means dragon or great serpent. It is the same word used in Genesis 3:1. And the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh Elohim had made. The word in this passage is nakash. Nakash means serpent. It also comes from H5172, which means to learn by experience, exactly what AI is doing. And also it means to practice foretelling. The same word, Nakash Strong's 5154, means copper or brass. This is why he is always called the brazen serpent or the shining one. This coincides with the word Vulcan, which means to luster. The false prophet in Revelation is none other than the serpent from the garden, the Nakash, the brazen serpent. Is it just a coincidence that the CEO of ChatGPT made this tweet about the coming AI? Quote, "I love summer in the garden." This suggests that the new chat will be called strawberry, which is the Hebrew word tut, tav ua tav, or man surrounded by a covenant. Look at their logo. It has a 6-sided hexagon and 6 inner lines and 6 outer lines. 666, the number of the beast. The word chat is the Hebrew word for sin, and AI is pronounced I in Hebrew. This is the evil eye, the all-seeing eye. So what is the goal of the beast in Revelation? Revelation 17:13. They have one mind, and they shall give their power and authority to the beast. Revelation 17:17. For Elohim did give it into their hearts to do his mind, to be of one mind, and give their reign to the beast, until the words of Elohim shall be accomplished. Satan has always a counterfeit, and AI is the counterfeit manifested word, the false Messiah. AI is created by a language model. They want to put this word in you, to bring you into slavery. This is the Great Reset, the reset of the world order. It is called Mystery Babylon or Secret Babylon because it is hidden inside of man. It is the imprisonment of man's soul and mind, and their ruler Sar or Osiris is already here. The word reset in Hebrew, Strong's 7568, reset, has the meaning of judgment for catching, of leaders leading people to sin as a trap for man, a network, brazen as the brazen serpent. This is mankind trapped in a network. If you Google the variant list as here, you will come up with the first website for Yale Medicine. The list includes Alpha, Beta, Delta, and Omicron. Now, Abad, Hebrew Strongs, you're going to find Abad, which means to destroy, to perish, vanish, go astray, be destroyed, die, be exterminated, vanish. Now, the same word Abad, 5647, it also has the meaning of Abad, to work, to serve, to worship, work for another, serve another by labor. This word was used in Exodus when it says the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve Abad with rigor. The word Oz also has the meaning of the eye plow. Plow is what workers use. Revelation 9:11. And they have over them a sovereign, the messenger of the pit of deep, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, but in Greek he has the name Apollyon. The word Apollyon is Strong 623. And Abaddon, if you calculate the letters, it equals the number 23. Their plan has always been to enslave mankind and to separate us from the Father, to integrate you into their system